Okay. Okay. Can anyone hear me? Ahmed.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Brilliant. Okay, brilliant. So, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, also from the region where you are listening from today. So, today I'm going to sure I'm the one taking, and I'll be running us through how we can set up our labs and also how we can start with the hands-on experience, how we can start working with the demo of what we've been learning so far from the couple of weeks that we've been running this current training. So, just a quick recap. So, to bring and refresh our knowledge, we are currently looking at the Microsoft Power Platform PL-900, and currently here we have the low-code platform. That is, Power Platform is a low-code platform, and basically, we would be running through introducing you to hands-on experience with Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent. So, my other colleagues, Fachi and Kelechuku, I'm sure they've run us through the each of this component of the Power Platform and how they are of benefit to each and every one of us. And I'm sure you'll be wondering, why can't we have an environment to start testing with and some other things like that. So, today I'll be walking us through some of how we can set up and begin the lab. So I'm going to be sharing a link with us to enable us begin setting up our environment. So today we'll be looking at the first module, and to look at the first module, I'm going to be putting this GitHub link. So this is the GitHub link. I'll be dropping it in the chat, and my colleague will be sharing it with us. So this is the link to the GitHub lab. Okay, 1 second. While it's opening, let me put it in the chat as well. Okay, there you go. So this is the lab currently on display. Okay, so we're going to be looking at there are different files here. So another thing I would advise that you do is that you can just click here because there are some files that you'll be needing to utilize. Okay, so you can actually just do a downloading of the zip package. So you go to code. So this is GitHub, and this is the repository for the PL-900 Power Platform Fundamentals training. So these are the lab guides that you would have to work with. So here, going to do download zip. Okay, and it's going to download a zip file onto your local machine where you can then access it as directed in the lab. So we're going to go into the instructions part of the lab now. And you would see here on the instruction part of the lab, there are some demo materials, there are some media files, and then there is the lab for each of the components. So here you can see now that we have the lab for PL 900 setup. We have the lab for, oh, 1 second. Okay, so we have the lab here for the setup. We have the lab for data modeling, the lab for Canvas app and model app, and also Power Automate, and then Power BI. So these are all the lab files. So we're going to start from the setup point of things. Now we need to validate an environment. Now the first thing that you need to do is for you to acquire Microsoft 365 Power Platform tenant. So here we are having a scenario okay, a use case scenario. And this is the use case scenario that we are going to be working with all through the course. It's going to, like, we'll work with the same scenario when it comes to building of apps, when it comes to building of Power BI dashboards, working with reports, and every of the other component of the Power Platform. We'll be working with this use case scenario. So the scenario here reads, Bellows College is an educational organization with multiple buildings on campus. Campus visitors are currently recorded in paper journals. The information is not captured consistently, and there are no means to collect and analyze data about the visit across the entire campus. So, campus administration would like to modernize their visitor registration system where access to buildings is controlled by security personnel and all visits are required to be pre registered and recorded by their host. Throughout this course, you will build applications and perform automations to enable the Bellows College administration and security personnel to manage and control access to the buildings on campus. So in this module one, we will acquire a Power Platform trial and access the Power Platform Admin Center and then create a practice environment. So this is what we are going to be doing now. So 1 second, let me grab the link to show you how you quickly set up a developer tenant. Okay, a developer tenant just for dev purposes. So I have a developer free. I'm part of Microsoft.com. To put that in the chat as well. Okay, 1 second. So here I want you to choose Power Platform. Okay, 1 second. Okay, okay. I have several accounts, but let me start fresh just 1 moment. Okay, I think first of all, I need to sign up. One. Let me start here. Microsoft 365. Okay, let's go to the Dev Center. Just a second. Okay, still with you. I'm trying to get the link that will just enable us to sign up to create a developer account right away. Okay, 1 second, just to be double sure this is it. Sign up. Okay, let me see. Let me try to use a Gmail and see what happens. Okay, there's the code. Okay, still waiting. Okay, I think this should just do the magic. Okay, join developer program today. Join now. Okay. Come on. Okay. Let me just use code. Okay, where's my code? Okay, two, seven, nine, 13, 14. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So this is it. So let me just copy this link and paste in the chat. So this link, yeah, I think it's the same as before, but I think this should direct you to where you get started. So yeah, I'm going to select my region being Nigeria. Company, I will just put in name as let's say Oasis Tech. Then accept. I would like and next. Okay, so what's your primary focus? Custom solutions, personal project. Then I go next. Yeah, so here you pick. So I want to use Graph Teams Power Platform, of course. Outlook, possibly sending of emails and the likes. Office add-ins. So yeah, I think I'll just select everything, then save. So what this does is that it gives you a 90 days, okay, access, and then you will be able to utilize the options that we've chosen. So you would notice here that it should create a new tenant for us, like a fresh new tenant for developers. So here I'm choosing int sandbox. So it's going to have more like an E5 developer license in it. So I'll go next. Okay. So where my sandbox should be provisioned, I'll choose EMEA. Yeah, because my region is EMEA. So I'll put in my name here. Then I'm gonna put a password. Oh, what does it say? Letters. Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. So I'll put in a phone number here. Unable to contact the cell phone. Okay, 1 moment. I think I should have another phone that I can use. Okay. Okay, while we're waiting for the number. So what we are doing here basically, just to recap for those of us just joining, so we're creating a developer tenant for to use to demo the exercises that we will be having to work with in this labs. That's for this very course. So setup. Okay, so it's setting it up and it's ready. So now I have a tenant. That's functional at ytpjd.onmicrosoft.com. So I'm going to have this for 90 days. So after 90 days, if I don't develop stuffs, this will be shut down. But if I keep developing stuffs, apps, flows, it gets extended. Okay. So that's how this developer subscription actually works. So what I will then do is that I'm going to create a profile. And while I will go to and this admin account. So now I will grab this email that I have here. Okay, you might want to bookmark this, very important. You might want to bookmark this page. Okay, very important. So I'm going to go to the new profile that I've just opened and I'm going to put in the password. Okay, just for this purpose. Okay, skip now. Yeah, we need to press on. Okay, so now I have my organization, my developer tenant. So it might take a while for the Office product to sync. Okay, it might take a while. And being the first user, you will be the global admin. Okay, you're going to be having the global admin rights in this tenant. And you can create other users and other global admins. Okay, so as you can see, all is set. If you go to the admin center, you would have all the right, okay, all the right, and you'll be able to see the licenses that you have access to as of this current moment. Okay, so this is going to be the tenant where we will be using for our labs in the PL-900. Okay, so I've just shown you how to set up a developer's tenant so that on this tenant you can demo stuff, try out stuffs, and do a whole lot of things. Okay, while you are waiting to push to your sandbox or to your to your production in your organization's tenant. So let me just go to billing and see what licenses that we currently have. I remember we signed up for Power Platform, for SharePoint, and for other products like that. So here we are going to see what exactly we have. Okay. Okay, it's a new tenant, so I'm sure it's taking its time to synchronize. Okay, so we have this license, which is fine. Okay, very good. Awesome. Awesome. So we have this license. So let's go here again. Licenses. I'm sure we should still see that same license. Yes. So it is available. And if you go to users, you would see all the users, unactive users, the demo users. You can delete them, okay, and put in your own user. So this is me, for instance. This is my account. Okay. If I should go under my account, I'm going to see the licenses or the apps that my license gives me access on licenses and apps. So if you drop down on this, while this is selected, so I have access to Azure AD, I have access to Exchange Online, I have a whole lot, Power Apps for Office, and also Power Automate for Office, then Power BI Pro, and also Power Virtual Agent for Office, and also SharePoint. Amazing. So I have access to all of this. So it means I'm good to go. So I'm going to bring in the GitHub link. That, that's the link to the GitHub environment. So this is more like a dashboard. After today passes, it drops down to 80 days out of 90, and that's how it keeps going till it's done. So this is for a developer joining the developer program. So so I'll just copy this again and take here. So on this GitHub link, we are going to be starting with the validating of an environment. Okay. So here it says we need to acquire our Power Platform trial tenant license, and we are going to go to powerapps.microsoft.com. Oh, sorry, I wanted to open that in a new tab. Cancel. So while that is opening, the next thing is it needs us to provide all of these information. So we go to get started, then we sign in with this same credentials. Okay, we are getting the Power Platform license for the same user. Okay, in the same tenant that we just created, and then we complete and we get started and proceed to the admin center. So let's start by going in here. Okay, you don't go to so you start free. Then at point of signing, starting free, the credentials you have here is the credentials you use here when you are signing up for Power Platform license. Okay, so because I'm on the same browser, I believe yes, so it has identified my current user. So I would click on continue. Okay, then here it's still showing US. You can change it if you want. So I'll change it to Nigeria. My phone number. Okay, or you can just put in something random there. Okay, you can put in something random, then get started. Okay, then get started. So this is how you sign up for a Power Platform trial license. Okay, this is how you start sign up for a Power Platform trial license. So if you go back here to your admin center, because now you have an admin, right? If you go to your your product, okay, I believe it should sync any moment from now, or here, licenses. Let me do a refresh. So I'll show you how to confirm if your licenses are signed or if they are now active for you to utilize. So this is one of those ways for you to check. So you refresh the admin center and you get to see it. Yes. So now here it is. So you can see we have a huge capacity for it. So if you go to the Power Platform here, admin user page, that's the make.power.com, it's going to open up, okay, after you complete this setup here. That's from start free. You're going to be redirected to the home page for the Power Apps. That's make.powerapps.com. So currently we are on the make.powerapps.com page, and you would have environment. So each tenant would have first a default environment, then you can start provisioning your own sandbox, your own trial, your own developer environment. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this for now. So we have just one environment. Okay, and another way to verify that the currently signed in user, which is me here, which is me, I can confirm if I have the license assigned. So you can go to settings and then you click on plans. So from here, you can see now that I have the Power Apps Power User Trial license assigned to my current user and will be expiring on the 10th of October, which is next month. Okay, so now I have those two licenses. So this license gives you ability to use Dataverse, also things like SQL and every premium connector that is in the Power Platform. This license allows you to try it out. So since we have all set now, so it means we've completed this first exercise, which is setting up. Okay, the next step is for us to create an environment. So to create an environment, we need to go to the admin center, which is admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com, or you can simply open a new tab and go to aka.ms/ppac ppac. Okay, navigate to the Power Platform Admin Center, will redirect us to the admin. Yeah, it's currently loading. So once that opens up, we need to sign in, of course, with the same credentials and then environment. And then we click on new and we create new environment. And for the name, you put in your initials and this. So for instance, AJ practice. So mine is Funchakure, so it could be FA or AK practice. Then you pick a type, which is trial. Okay, you pick a trial environment. So not trial subscription. Now you can only use trial subscription based environment if you have a trial subscription license. That is, if you have licenses such as the Dynamics 365 customer engagement licenses, those licenses allow you to spin up this sort of environment. Okay, so then we have to create a database. Yes, so we'll do all of this in here. So need to authenticate. Okay, it's loading up. Yeah, so this is the new admin center. Still loading. Okay, so you go get started, and then the next thing is you're welcomed, and you go to environment, and on that environment, you then proceed to the new. But let's first wait. Now you'd see that this is the environment, so every invest this. Okay, every environment has this. So my region is Europe, and it's created on this very day, and it's by the system, not by me. So I'm going to create another environment now. So I'm going to click on new. Then remember the name. So I would use AF practice. Okay, or you can use AF dev. Okay, as you've preferred. Then this region is okay, but you can also have it in several other regions. Okay, if you choose, there are options for other regions in here. Then here, so for you to spin up a sandbox environment, you'd be needing a 1 GB database capacity. For you to spin up a production, you would need likewise a 1 GB capacity of data available. Maybe some other time I'll be doing another video on that. Okay, so we have trial subscription base. We don't have a license to enable us to provision this. So we are just going to settle for trial. Okay, so you can write in the purpose. Okay, for testing purpose. And one amazing thing is this environment expires after 30 days. So after 30 days, it expires. So anything you're doing, it has to be within the frame of 30 days. Okay, so here's how we enable the database to be provisioned. So let's see what we have. Create, change the toggle to create database to yes. So we're so it says we should leave other sections as default, and on the tab you can leave all sections as default. Then we click save, and then the practice environment will be available in no time. So I'm going to go back to my admin center, and I'm going to click on next. So it said leave all as it is. But another cool thing is, in case you want some sample apps and data, just enable this so you can see what the things with what things like Dataverse, what it will look like. Okay, with data in it. So I'm going to enable this. Okay, so I'll then click save. So in less than a minute, you will have your environment already provisioned for you. So as you can see, my environment is near ready, preparing instant. So I'll just do a refresh, and then it's ready. And if you check this out, it's created by me. Okay, it's created by me. So let's proceed to the next lab. So this zero validating of environment. So in the next lab, I would simply go back to labs. So the next lab is data model, which is this. So which is where we're going to end today's um, lecture, okay? Where we're going to be ending today's class. So in this data model, remember that we are digitizing the visitors management system for Bellows College. So that's basically what we are doing in this very lab, okay? So we're going to start from this point. So the scenario still remains the same. So campus administrator, administration, they would want to modernize their visitor registration system. So which is what we are using the Power Platform to solve. So the first requirement is that we want to Bellows College administration want to track information regarding schedule on campus. That is schedule for visit. And the next thing is they want to record basic information to identify and track the visitor. Then the third requirement here is they want to be able to schedule, okay, record, and also manage the visit on campus. So, and finally, we are going to be importing a sample data into Dataverse, which is why I said that from the very first point, you need to go here, okay, just to show us again. You go here, you go to code, and then you download the zip file because you will be needing some files in, I think, this directory, okay. Yes, these are the files in the directory that we're going to be using, some XLX file, some solution component, some Power Apps which have been created, fully furnished and all, but these are just completed ones. Okay, so we're going to be building from scratch, but these are completed ones that can guide you. So I'm going to go back here. So ensure you've done this, okay? Downloaded the zip file at the point whereby you are starting the lab one, okay? The lab one. So to proceed into the lab one now, we will be navigating down to the high level lab. So we would, to prepare your learning environment, you would refer to the data model document for metadata description, tables, and relationships. So I'm sure while we're being taught by the other trainers, the different data sources that we have, I'm sure they should have touched on Dataverse and what Dataverse is. So Dataverse is the central data repository that we will be using to store our data in this very lab. In this very lab. So the prerequisite here, you need to have completed this, which we have already done. And then the things to consider: naming conventions. Type names carefully, because the way you type the name is the way you would reference that object or that table when you are building your app to communicate to those endpoints or to those data sources or to those connections. So we will proceed then to task one. So here we're going to be creating some tables. And since we are dealing with you can actually do a BRD, like a requirements gathering, to itemize some of the things you'll be needing. So, for instance, here we want to capture things like visit information. So it means we need a visit table to capture visit information. We need a building table to capture the name of the buildings on campus. Okay. And there's also a section which says they want to be able, Bellows College wants to be able to manage the visitors and all, controlling access, meaning that you need to also capture information regarding those who are coming for visits. Okay, so as for them to be able to analyze, okay, those data at the end of the day. So part of the tables that have been identified, okay, already, is the visit table. So we're going to be creating a visit table and also columns to support the visit table. So we're going to be creating this from the make.powerapps.com. And to do that, we go to Power Apps here, okay, and then you go to Dataverse, and then you click on tables on this left hand side navigation. But one thing you should note is that the environment that you're in is the environment where your solution will be at the moment of developing. So it is important for you to ensure that you are developing in the correct environment. Okay, so I'm going to click AF practice. Okay, and these changes. So now you can see that I'm now in the practice environment, and here it tells me I have 29 days until expiry, and I can convert to production if I want to. Okay, so now I'm here. So then I can start building. So I'll click on tables, and then I will then you would see what the UI looks like. So part of the things Dataverse does is that Dataverse makes available some set of standard tables. So just to have a recap on tables. Now, tables can be of different types. We can have tables for, let's say, specific scenarios, which would only match your own specific business use case. Now, those type of tables are called custom tables because you create them, you initiate the creation of those tables, okay, as well as the columns in it. But Microsoft already makes provision for Dataverse because for standard tables. Now, standard tables, these are table types that are available to you, okay, based on its on I would use the word common data model, okay, based on CDM, because in most cases there are tables that Microsoft has made available because it is being widely used, by several users in the industry, and Microsoft has made this set of standard tables are available. Now, an example of those table is an account table. Okay, it's a standard table. It allows you to hold account records. Okay, concerning, let's say, an organization. We have the contact table, so you can liken a contact table to a person, okay, or a user. You can actually have it, although there is a users table as well in this Dataverse. Okay, but you can still use this specifically to hold information pertaining to customers, okay, or contact. So the next thing to do is that we are going to then navigate to here, new table, and I'm going to put in the name of the table. So remember what was said. Watch the naming convention. Okay, watch the naming convention. 1 second. Mouse is frozen. Okay, so the name of the table should be where is it? Visit. Okay, without an S for display name, and then we save. Then we create columns in it. So go back here, visit without an S. So it will be pluralized by default, and then save. So after that, we've completed up to item 6. So under the schema section, select columns and then create what is called a schedule start column. So I'm just going to copy this, and be careful of copying because you might copy a space just with it. So it's created a table. So I'm creating columns. So I'm going to pick column and new column. So these are existing columns already, but want to create specific columns. So I'm creating a column for scheduled start. And what data type should the scheduled start be? So it should be a date and time data type, okay, and it should be a required column. Then I should then adjust the time zone to time zone independent. So I'm going to come back here, okay, pick date and time, okay, then simple. Yes, it should be business required. Then under advanced options, under the time zone adjustment, I should make it time zone independent, and that's all. So I'm going to save. So while that is saving, the next is a scheduled end. Scheduled end. The same data type, it should also be required, and also the time zone should be adjusted. So I'm just going to new one here, new column. Okay, but this time around, this will be end, date and time. Yes, single should be required, and also time zone independent, then save. That under the visit table, we are capturing the start time of the visit and the end time of the visit, and it is a required it is required. Okay, it is required. So the next here is actual start. Now this is very thoughtful, okay, because the meeting can be scheduled to start at a particular time but start earlier or later. So this is actually very thoughtful. So the same thing implies here, but the required should be optional, so it shouldn't be business required. So I'm going to go to new column, still under the visit table, okay, actual start, date and time should be optional, then this should be time zone independent, then save. So the same thing, I believe, goes for actual end. Okay, actual end. So you need to also create a column for actual end. So the next thing will then be going back to Power Apps. Okay, so if you scroll scroll down, I think you should see them. Yes, this are the columns: scheduled start, scheduled end. Yes, so these are the ones we just created. Okay, so let me create the other ones. Okay, actual start is yes. So I'm bringing in actual end, still date and time, optional, time zone independent, and save. Okay, so the next column to create is the code column. So for every specific visit, you want a unique identifier, okay? More like a code that can be used to identify every visit, okay, on campus. So you can have several visitors, okay, at several time of the year, but different visit codes, okay? So that is also a very key feature to have. So the code is going to be an auto number data type column, okay? And it's going to be date prefixed number. That is, it will be both the code and then the date of the visit. That's what will determine the code, okay? That is being auto generated. The code is being auto generated. So I'm going to, 1 second. Come on. Okay. So go to new column. Code. Yeah. So I copied a space. So I'm gonna remove that space. So it should be date and no, it should be auto number. Then it should be date prefixed. Okay. So this is how it looks like. However, I think you can still change it to be more friendly. Okay. Depending on what you would or how you would like it to look. Okay. So just let me leave it at this. So this is the date and this is the ID. So I'm going to save. Then to our last exercise of the day, okay, is the importing of data into Dataverse. And we are going to be doing this with the the XLSX file. That is more like an Excel file or CSV file. Okay, so you should have this, and if you don't have it, then it means you need to just do this. Okay, but we already, so we will just locate it. We already have it. So this is the file. It would open up and then you can download it. So let's go back to the instruction. So if you're not already signed in, already there, yes, we're in the environment that we're using for development. And then we should locate the visit table again. So it means we need to go back. Okay, click on visit and then come on. Okay, so these are the columns. However, you can still add more if you want to. So I'm just going to add in the actual start, actual end, code, then scheduled start, scheduled end. So we see what it's like. Yeah, so these are the columns that we created. Okay, so now that we're back here, so the next thing to do is let's go back to the instruction. Says locate the table, and then using the menu at the top, drop down arrow, we're going to see the import. That's we'll see the next, the drop down arrow. Then next to import, you would see import data from Excel. So 1 second. Yeah, so this is the data that we are importing. This is how it looks like. Okay, actual and actual start, the code, then the name, then scheduled end, scheduled start, then status code. Okay, so let's go back up. here, Power Apps, and you'd see input. So on the drop down, you'd see import data from Excel. So I would simply click this. Okay, it's loading up. So this is the data that we will be using, okay, to create the Canvas app, the model-driven apps, to automate flow processes, and also to create a dashboard and a report in Power BI. Okay, so it's coming up. So I need to then put in the file. So I'll just click on upload. Okay, it opens up my local machine, downloads. Oh no, uh, this won't work. So let me extract that CS. I mean the let me unpackage it. It's still zipped, so let me just unpackage it. Okay, it's currently to go right in. Okay, so let me try that again. Upload. Cancel. No, just go back. Cancel. In game. Okay, upload. Awesome. Then all files. Yeah, visit. So this is it. Visit Excel. So I'm going to pick it. Okay, so the next thing, yeah, mapping error exists. So I'll need to come in and map the columns. Okay, and here we go. So remember we set some parts to be required and others to be optional. So we're just going to map them. So for instance, code, okay, yeah, we have code in our Excel file. Let me see the columns we have. In actual start code, in scheduled and scheduled start, then status code. So let's just go back and do those. So we have code, it's mapped. Then for name, we map it with name. For scheduled end, so if you look at this, you see unmapped and mapped. Okay, quite cool stuff. So the one we are on is a scheduled end. Then the next one is scheduled start. So we have actual end and actual start, and that's all. Okay, so think we're good now. So let's save the changes. Yeah, mapping was successful. So the next thing is to import. So at the very top right, you'd see the import button. So we're going to click on import. So this would import all that is in this Excel file. It would bring it right into our table in Dataverse. Okay, so import was partially successful. Da da da. So we have just 25 errors and 134 updates. So you can click on this just to download and check what the error is saying. But I believe we still have some data to work with. We still have some data to work with, so you can review these errors later on. So we have 134 records successfully pushed. So let's go back and do a refresh. Okay. Okay, so it's loading. Okay, so now as you can see, we have the name column populated with data. Okay, and also the actual end, actual stats, then the code. Okay, and also the schedule end, and then the scheduled start. So as you can see, we have quite a number of data. You can as well do edit in a new tab and see it, okay, in a more bigger view. Okay, so coming down here, so we've practically finished today's lab exercises. Okay, so on your end, you can actually go a step further. Okay, back to the lab instructions. That's the .md, and then you proceed into Canvas app. Okay, and then we'll be building a Canvas app from the visit table. Yeah, quite cool and very interesting stuff. So um, let me see. Just 1 second. Okay, so this is going to be the next exercise or the next lab for you to do. Okay, so our environment is still very much active. Yes, this is the record that is in. Yeah, it's quite huge record. Okay, so let me just go back. I'm not deleting the inserting rows. Okay, so our data is ready and already prepped. You know, start the next module. Okay, so I'm trying to check in with the organizers if we can actually take on the out a Canvas app module right away. But just one thing, 1 second. Okay, our time is is almost up already. Okay, no worries. So I believe by the next time the next is even something you can actually take on. Okay, and one take on it. Okay, you can actually just upload it on LinkedIn, tag the organizers, tag your trainers, and have it open there out there so that everyone can see what you've actually built and how far you've come with the PL-900. Okay, in the aspect of the lab and also putting what you've been learning for the past couple of weeks into hands-on practice. So I'm going to be stopping here for today. And if you have any question, you can actually put the questions in the chat. I'll be going to the chat right now to check if there are questions that need attention. So please put in your question, and let's have them clarify. Okay, still checking if there are questions. Okay, not seeing any question at the moment. Okay, so I just heard from the organizer. So the link to setting up of your developer account has been shared. Apologies for that; it wasn't shared earlier. And also the link to the GitHub labs is also being shared as of now. Okay, so there are no questions. Okay, so that's okay. So I want to say very big thank you for having me again today. So hopefully by next week, we will be able to cover more grounds and have more discussions on each of these components that have been addressed. So thank you very much, and enjoy your journey with the Power Platform, and enjoy the rest of your weekend as well. Thank you, and bye.